Hello there, Medicine here, and this is another episode of BJD and a cup of tea. Today's tea is Harney & Sons chocolate mint tea because I'm doing a intro video on my ice queen, Gwendolen. Now, Gwendolen here is an Angel Studio Ice Queen Hilda. She is a complete full set, so everything that she is currently wearing, from her face-up blushing to her wig and clothes and eyes, are all from Angel Studio, which is the company that made her. Reason being is that it was perfect. It was exactly how I envisioned my ice queen in my mind, so I kept it. I went ahead and paid for it that way. Once upon a time, back when the great mother tree was barely a sapling, a star fell to Shylon's soil. This was no ordinary star, for she was pregnant with triplets. The force of her impact caused her to give birth, and the labor made her light go out. Now, one of those children was Gwendolen. Gwendolen is the eldest of the three star children. She was born of a fallen star and raised by the Phoenix, who took her and her siblings to the Phoenix's Valley and raised them as his own. She, Miss Ice Queen Gwendolen, was given domain over all of the winter wonders. All the power of snow and ice and frost and cold was given to her and to her dragon companion. Her sister Persipia was given dominion over all the rain and the storms and the lightning and the precipitation. And her brother, the youngest, Ari, was given domain over all the air, the wind, and the clouds. And each of the star children had a dragon companion. And Gwendolen, her dragon companion, was an ice dragon, which is of course appropriate given the fact that she is the Ice Queen. So, things were good in Shylon. The star children were in charge of basically all of Shylon's weather, and they did really well. And then a time of darkness fell on the land, and Shylon's magic disappeared. The star children were trapped in their homes, and the truth of their power and their great splendor was reduced to fairy tale. So Gwendolen here was trapped in her ice kingdom, her magic to a very hard flutter. Barely anything she had was left after the time of darkness. Her dragon companion was forced into the body of a human, and so the two of them were in their kingdom. Over time, the frost fairies and the snow sprites dispersed from the kingdom of Boreal and started going south because they lost their magic to control the cold, and therefore in their human forms started becoming unable to live in the harsh climates of the kingdom of Boreal. So they slowly migrated south and created small villages and towns away from the queen. Her story slowly changed over the years as the magic disappeared, as people started forgetting that magic even existed or was real in Shylon, and especially in the kingdom of Boreal. Her whole story was reduced to a fairy tale, to a children's bedtime story, to where she was once called the Snow Queen, the Ice Witch, and stuff like that. And to where children were told it as a cautionary tale, beware, or the Snow Queen or the Snow Witch will get you if you don't behave. If you wander too far north, if you wander into her domain, she'll turn you to ice. She'll freeze you to death. That whole thing. She became blamed for blizzards and harsh things, climates like that. Although all of that was out of her control, especially since her magic had been dwindled into nothing. So that's her actual backstory. That's who she is. That's how she fits into my Shylon universe. She's kind of a side story. She has her own thing going on. She may or may not be related to Amnice and some of the other characters, given the fact that she's from outside of Shylon. She's actually born from a fallen star. That's why her powers still exist, even though Shylon's powers have been disappeared. They just exist at a very small capacity. Over time, they begin to grow and begin to get stronger, and she realizes that maybe the ancient magics are returning. And given the fact that she was born of a star, her lifespan is very, very different than that of normal Shylonians. She's actually able to live for thousands of years, and which is what gives her sort of a goddess status among the creatures of Shylon, among the clans. So her story, actually, the story I would love to give to her when I get some time to write it, I've written pieces of it here and there, is about a young man in one of the clans in the villages that are in the Kingdom of Boreal, what's left of Boreal. And he has a strange disposition. His face is unable to show emotion. So people think that he's got a sliver of the Ice Queen's magic mirror in his heart. Sort of a nod to the Hans Christian Andersen Snow Queen story. So they think that he's cursed by the Ice Queen. He doesn't feel the cold the way that other people do. He actually, heat bothers him. So he tends to move north. He tends to explore the older kingdoms, which is where she resides with her dragon friend, Crystal. And so they eventually meet each other, and who knows what happens from there. That's the part that I'm working on. So that's her story. I'm really, really happy with her. I would love to get some more photos of her and do a really nice photo shoot, especially now that it's coming into Christmas again, that holiday season where all the lights and decorations go back up. So I like her a lot. I do actually want to get her the other two people, at least the dragon and the boy from her story, because I think that they would be nice compliments and maybe would be able to kind of do their story through photos. But I don't know, being a mom now has really taken a lot of my time and is quite the adventure, I will tell you. I love my little son. He is amazing. He is doing great, and I couldn't be happier with where I am. It just means that some of my hobbies and other things are kind of taking a little bit of a back burner at this time. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, bye!